So here with Stoke's finest, Nathan Heaney. Firstly, mate, how are you? All right?
Yeah, very good, mate. I just got the press conference out of the way, and now it's just waiting for tomorrow for the weigh-in.
So obviously at a press conference as well, do you find it a bit difficult maybe to kind of engage with a foreign opponent that doesn't really speak English? Because obviously you can't really engage on that kind of level with them, can you?
Yeah, mine's a weird one. Anyway, I find it very strange to engage in any aspect, even if whether English or not, because you don't know how they're going to respond and how they're going to act. Like, I didn't know if I was going to get any naughtiness from the opponent's side, but when we were staring at each other, I could see him almost like his eyes, like he didn't want to laugh. And then that made me smile. So then he laughed. And it's weird, but obviously tomorrow we're going to be smashing each other's heads, and so it's a weird one. It was quite soft, really. But yeah, Saturday's when obviously we kick in and fight.
Brilliant. So obviously on to previous fights. Now you've had many learning fights. Which fight would you say for yourself personally was your biggest learning fight, obviously on your journey so far?
Probably my 7th fight when I fought for the Midlands area title against Tom Stokes. That was the one where it was a back and forth fight. I hurt him, he'd hurt me. After 4 rounds it was even, and I was doing the wrong game plan. I was doing exactly what Steve told me not to do, and then that's when, and round 5 onwards, I switched doing what he should have done. I should have done the whole time, and then eventually, and then I won the fight. Well, I won the fight well in the end, but yeah, that was the learning fight where it's like you've got to listen to what Steve's telling me to do. And then there's been good fights that I've been learning through. Like there was Serge and Bomber's coaches here. Like Serge caught me some strong shots in his fight, and there's been some really good lads that I've learned from.
Brilliant. So obviously, everyone's obviously on about this homecoming at Stoke City ground.
Yeah.
How many more fights would you kind of say that you'd ideally want before you want that big homecoming?
I'd want it this year. I'd want it, 2 fights. I'd want it in 2 fights' time. Like I just because the support's there. Like normally fighters will have to build up to a certain level of a title before they can be put in a stadium like that. But I've got like the following of world champion without the world title, so they could do it anyway. It's just obviously Stoke City and Frank working together and getting it sorted.
It's obviously up in the level of opponents now as well. As you're facing a dangerous fighter on Saturday against Ramirez, obviously knocked out Bradley Skeet. How many more risky fights would you want to take? Because obviously, credit to yourself for taking that step up every time. But obviously, you'd love that homecoming as soon as possible. So how come you kind of taking these risky fights before you obviously want that homecoming?
Because we've got to, because at the Bet365 it would have to be a hard fight as well to obviously sell it. So I need to be ready for that moment. So I don't want to be stepping into the Bet365 not prepared for the big fight. So because there was a number of dangerous opponents that were given to me for this, and I said yes to every single one. Some fell through, but then obviously Diego then came through, and I was like, yeah, dangerous, but I want the fight. So, but it's just getting me prepared for like I say, the eventual big fight that I need.
Ideally, the British title, would you say, the Bet365?
Yeah, that'd be for me, yeah.
Brilliant.
But whatever Frank wants me to do.
So another question that I want to ask you is how you get through all these tickets and send them out, because personally for myself, if I were having to dish out 1,200 tickets, I literally wouldn't be able to do it all, as well as train, as well as do absolutely anything else in life. So how do you kind of manage doing all that?
Yeah, so I do it all myself online and stuff, and then unfortunately my Mrs. Louise Martin, like my partner, I'll do all the admin stuff, but then she'll double check everything and make sure I've made no mistakes, and then all I'll do is I'll set the postcodes out. I'll have hundreds of envelopes. I even brought myself a label printer this time, so I don't have to handwrite the addresses. Print off them, we mark it off, put it down, and then I'll do it postcodes at a time. So I'll do like in Stoke it's ST or Staffordshire, so ST1 to ST21 is what people bought tickets. But then there's people from Dundee that brought tickets. I'm not going to drive there, so there's a lot that I sent out first class recorded. I just pay that myself because it just makes it easier, and then the rest of them I just hand deliver. Yeah, but doing it in postcodes, it took me about 4 days, let's say 4 hours at a time, and yeah, it was manageable.
Have you noticed now, just last question, obviously because everyone's noticing that like your massive following from Stoke, are like you're kind of getting new fans from all around the country now?
Yeah, massively. There's people from so Dundee, Nottingham, Leicester, Ipswich, Devon, Exeter, Bicester. There's it's crazy, mate. Milton Keynes, they're all over the place. People, to be fair, the last show in Salford last year, people flew from Belfast to come watch me fight, and I dropped the tickets off the night before me fight at the North Salford Hotel. Yeah, so yeah, we're all over the place.
Brilliant, top man. I wish you all the best as well, Saturday, mate. I'll be there watching and looking forward to Ring Walk as well, especially.
Cheers, mate. Top man.